My high school nemesis fired me, then asked me to be her nanny at her house. I cursed her out. She offered $100,000 a month. Suddenly, I discovered my deep passion for the housekeeping industry. Lin Tiangao, never thought I'd end up working for my high school nemesis. My dad named me Lin Tiangao, hoping my ambition would be higher than the sky, that I'd soar in my career and become filthy rich. Lin Tiangao, you're fired from the company. Gu Baobao sat with her legs crossed, her long, fair legs dazzlingly white. At that moment, I was filled with righteous indignation, in no mood to stare. My face flushed red as I asked angrily why. Since joining the company, I'd been diligent and conscientious, stuck to my duties, and took my work seriously. I never expected to get a dismissal notice in return. Was it just because Gu Baobao and I didn't get along in high school? Apart from being sarcastic to her, messing up her hair, hiding around corners to scare her, and putting cockroaches in her pencil case, I hadn't done anything that excessive, had I? Gu Baobao looked at me mockingly, provocatively, and smiled. No reason. I just feel your abilities are limited. Fine, I'll leave. If you don't want me here, someone else will. When I first joined the company and discovered Gu Baobao was my boss, I was shocked too. Only then did I realize the company belonged to the Gu family. I initially wanted to run, but because the company benefits were genuinely good, I chose to endure it, avoiding Gu Baobao whenever possible. But that woman is petty and vindictive. She'd always pop up in front of me like a ghost and start making things difficult. Fine by me. I'd had enough of this life anyway. Gu Baobao, someday I'll make you pay. I pointed to my female boss, cursed her out, then slammed the door on my way out. Heh. Gu Baobao's delighted laughter followed me. What a humiliation. I decided to work hard, get rich, and come back for revenge. However, just as I reached the ground floor of the company building, Gu Baobao blocked my path. Gu Baobao, let me tell you, I'm not your employee anymore. If you're looking for dressing down, I don't mind exercising my verbal talents. At that moment, I felt spirited back to my high school self. Gu Baobao snorted and changed the subject. My house needs a nanny. Interested. I instantly turned beet red. Wasn't humiliating me at the company enough? Now she planned to bring me to her home to trample directly on my dignity. What a vicious woman. You're insulting me, Gu Baobao. I roared. Gu Baobao's red lips curved, her beautiful eyes shifting as she said softly, $100,000 a month. Gu Baobao, classmate Gu, when did you find out that my greatest passion is the housekeeping industry? Gu Baobao tossed me the keys, told me the address, and went back to work. I didn't have many belongings. I moved into Gu Baobao's villa. The villa backed onto the Lansong River, a beautiful view that left me sighing in admiration. When I got to her house, I found it empty. Does she live alone? And I have to admit, the nanny's room on the first floor of her house was much better than my old dump. I knew life ahead would be incredibly difficult, but for that $100,000 a month salary, I decided to endure the humiliation. No matter how she made things difficult or teased me, I would bear it. My goal is to save up $2 million. Then I'll go back to my hometown, have a wife, kids, a warm home. Life couldn't be better. When Gu Baobao returned to the villa, I was cleaning the first floor hall. Dinner isn't ready yet? What's wrong with you? She demanded, her willow leaf brows knitted. I blinked, looking innocent. Only then did I remember that a nanny is supposed to cook for the employer. My face flushed again, and I headed towards the kitchen. Deducting $10,000 from your salary, Gu Baobao's voice came from behind me. Anger flared inside me. I turned around and retorted, "That's too much. It's only my first day. I'm not familiar with the routine yet, and you're docking so much?" Gu Baobao's eyes glinted as she elegantly sat down on the sofa. She said slowly and deliberately, "If you're not happy about it, you can just quit." I endured it. Turning, I headed towards the kitchen. Gu Baobao watched the busy figure in the kitchen, an enigmatic smile playing on her lips. The refrigerator was well stocked. My family background is average, so I know how to do all the necessary chores. Things like cooking. I wasn't too bad at it. Soon, I had served 3 dishes and a soup onto the dining table. The dishes looked and tasted pretty good. Gu Baobao ate quietly without speaking to me. I sat opposite her, eating as well. She didn't chase me away, at least, which let me breathe a sigh of relief. When she finished eating, she went upstairs. Before going, she told me to bring a basin of hot water up before 9 o'clock. I didn't understand why, but I agreed. Gu Baobao stayed upstairs. I lay on the first floor sofa, watching the home theater system and scrolling through Douyin. It felt amazing. Suddenly, I felt that being this housekeeper wasn't half bad. But when I remembered the 10,000 I'd just lost, my heart ached dully. Gu Baobao, just you wait. I absolutely won't let you dock my pay again. At 8:50, carrying a basin of hot water, I went up to the second floor, only to find Gu Baobao sitting in the living room, binge-watching a drama and wiping away tears as she watched. It cracked me up. If she were my employer, I would definitely have mocked her. She wore pink cartoon pajamas. The unintentional glimpse of skin was rather appealing, but thinking of her personality, I had zero interest. Seeing me, she quickly wiped away her tears and snapped. Don't you know how to knock? You scare me, you know? I held back. You didn't even close the door yourself, don't you realize? Where should I put this water? I asked quickly, unsure of her intentions for having me bring the water up. A mischievous smile touched Gu Baobao's lips, giving me a bad feeling. Bring it over here. It's water for washing my feet. Humiliation. Utter humiliation. Making a grown man like me bring her water to wash her feet. But then I thought about my salary, and instantly I endured it. I placed the foot-washing water on the floor beside her and turned to leave. Wait, Gu Baobao called out. I turned back, looking at her in confusion. Gu Baobao dipped her feet into the water, tested the temperature, and finding it just right, submerged them completely. Wash them. What are you standing there dazed for? I instantly lost it. Gu Baobao, you're going too far. I could see her face was clearly red. So you do no shame. Most importantly, a gentleman can be killed, but not humiliated. Making a grown man wash her feet. How could she even come up with that? Seeing my chest heaving, Gu Baobao nonchalantly took out her phone and fiddled with it for a moment. Alipay transfer received. 50,000 yuan. My phone chimed pleasantly. I quickly took it out. The transfer was indeed from Gu Baobao. The next moment, my face broke into a huge smile. In a couple of quick strides, I was in front of her. I squatted down, took hold of her small feet, and began to scrub. I had to admit, though this woman was like a tigress, her feet were surprisingly soft, as if boneless, pink, and tender. Stop trembling, Gu Baobao. Is it ticklish? I asked, puzzled. Just hurry up. Gu Baobao's voice sounded a little strained. Faster it is, then. After all, 50,000 yuan was already in hand. Being ticklish, yet still asking someone to wash her feet. I had to hand it to her. I finished washing as quickly as possible, picked up the basin, and left. Watching my retreating back, Gu Baobao finally let out a sigh of relief. Such a blockhead. The days passed, one after another. During the day, Gu Baobao wasn't home. Besides doing her laundry, I would either clean the house or tend to the lawn and flowers in the yard. Before she returned in the evening, I would always have dinner ready. Then, before 9, I'd bring the foot-washing water upstairs. Every time I turned to leave, 50,000 yuan would arrive in my account. Then, under Gu Baobao's disdainful gaze, I would wash her feet. I made up my mind. I would raise my savings goal to 5 million. As for having other thoughts about Gu Baobao, absolutely none. I know she and I are just not from the same world. Her family is incredibly wealthy. She's a true pampered daughter of privilege. What am I? Someone who sacrifices dignity for money. We're completely on different levels. Once I've saved enough money, I'll just go back to my hometown and lie flat. Wouldn't that be nice? Today, I had dinner ready, but Gu Baobao still hadn't come back. I actually found myself getting a little worried. Lin Tiangao, come pick me up. Gu Baobao sent a voice message and location. Her voice was a bit slurred, seemed like she'd had too much to drink. I rode my newly bought small electric scooter and hurried over. When I got to the address, it was the entrance of a hotel. I saw Gu Baobao, her face flushed red, being held up by a girlfriend next to her. Next to her stood a handsome man, saying something to her. Baobao, let me take you home. Xiaoman called me, said you drink too much. So I rushed right over. The man's voice was gentle and refined, magnetic and pleasant. Seeing this, I whipped the electric scooter around in a sharp turn and sped off into the distance. Since someone was taking her, I wouldn't get involved. I still have some self-awareness. Lin Tiangao. A delicate shout sounded from behind. Since I've been called out, I naturally couldn't play dumb. I turned around again and returned to face the three of them. Since she called me, there must be something else. Who would pass up a luxury car to ride a small electric scooter? Bao Bao, who is he? You know him. The man frowned, looking at me, his eyes showing disdain. I shrugged, couldn't care less. My whole outfit cost less than 200 yuan. Compared to them, the difference was stark. Why bother trying to compete? I don't have many of the good points, but I do see things clearly. Bao Bao, cheeks flushed, glared at me, clearly unhappy that I just left without a word. Feng Chung, look, my butler has arrived, so I won't trouble you. After saying this, she broke free from her friend's hold and sat directly onto the back seat of the electric scooter. For a moment, I was stunned. Butler? That's not bad, better than housekeeper. Idiot, hurry up and drive. Suddenly, I felt a pain in my lower back, then heard Bao Bao's urging. I immediately twisted the throttle, carrying her away and disappearing from the sight of the two behind us. The woman named Xiao Man spread her hands towards the man and said, Feng Chung, you can't blame me for this. I already tried my best to create an opportunity for you. Feng Chung watched our receding figures, his eyes gloomy, nodded and said, Of course. Xiao Man scoffed and said, You've been chasing her for a full 5 years, haven't even held her hand, it seems. Shut up. Stung to the quick, Feng Chung turned and left. Xiao Man didn't care and went home on her own. A gentle breeze brushed my face. Hold on tight, don't fall off. Bao Bao had been drinking, so I kindly reminded her. Passing up a car to ride an electric scooter. Are you nuts? After the reminder, I habitually started scolding her again. As soon as I said it, I regretted it. Now she wasn't my sworn enemy, but my generous benefactor. Bao Bao on the back seat, eyes hazy with drink, looked at my back, her emotions unreadable. Lin Tiangao, do you remember the last time you gave me a ride on your bike? Bao Bao didn't pay attention to my scolding, which made me sigh in relief. I casually replied, Of course I remember. It was raining that day. I ran into you by the roadside, kindly offered you a ride, but you started acting up while I was riding and ended up making me crash into a field. I got a harsh beating from my dad when I got home. Oomph. That beating was unforgettable, mainly because the second-hand electric scooter, which my family had scraped together money to buy for me, was wrecked, making my dad furious. Ha! Bao Bao's laughter was full of schadenfreude. I was about to retort, but thinking of her status as my benefactor, I immediately held back. Through some country lanes lies Bao Bao's suburban villa. Suddenly, I let out a sharp cry, because a sharp pain shot through my waist. Instinctively losing control of the e-scooter, I watched helplessly as I charged towards the farmland on the side. With a thud, I plunged straight into the muddy field. Bao! I turned, looked at the woman lying in the field with a smile still on her lips, and instantly yelled myself hoarse. Damn it, what the hell was that? Covered in mud, barefoot, carrying the equally mud-caked Bao Bao on my back, I walked along the concrete road, heading home. As for Bao Bao, she was slumped on my back asleep. I forcefully spat out a mouthful of muddy water, venting the resentment in my heart. I was sure this Bao Bao had done it deliberately. Bao Bao, you just wait. I'll definitely get my revenge someday. Seeing she was asleep, I started muttering. Bao Bao, I think you're just a jinx. Serve you right for pinching me. Now you're mud figure too? Now I have to carry you at least 3 kilometers. Oh my God, I definitely must have owed you in my past life. Finally, panting heavily, I carried Bao Bao to the villa entrance. Only then did I notice. Standing in front of the villa was a middle-aged couple. They looked quite familiar. Right, I'd seen them back in our school days. Weren't they Bao Bao's parents? Gu Yinfeng and Su Lingling, prominent local figures. The awkward thing was our current appearance. Oh dear, Bao Bao, what happened to you? Seeing Bao Bao covered in mud and being carried by a man, Su Lingling rushed over anxiously, looking at me warily. Quick, put her down. Leave her to me. Gu Yinfeng also jogged over, reaching out to take his daughter. Just what I wanted. I had carried her for 3 kilometers. I was already about to collapse from exhaustion, just as I was about to put Bao Bao down. Oh, where is this? Bao Bao's voice sounded as she slid smoothly off my back. Seeing the couple, she quickly exclaimed in pleasant surprise, "Dad, Mom, what are you doing here?" I felt like my lungs were about to explode with anger. This scheming Gu Bao Bao had actually been pretending to be asleep, making me tired to death. Truly, old scores unsettled, and now new ones added. Su Lingling looked at her daughter, exasperated, saying, "You, the young lady from a wealthy family. You, who is he?" Gu Yanfeng looked at me scrutinizingly. Gu Bao Bao waved dismissively and said, "My newly hired butler. I just fell into a field. Luckily, he helped pull me out. Guess you have some conscience after all." Sensing her parents' unfriendly gazes, I immediately started running back. My e-scooter is still in the field. I'll go get it out, leaving the three of them stunned. It took Herculean effort for me to finally pull the e-scooter out with difficulty. I couldn't bear to just abandon it like that. A whole $2,000. I planned to take it back to my hometown eventually. I found a clean ditch, washed it clean, and only then headed towards the villa. Back at the villa, I saw the Gu Bao Bao family trio in the ground floor living room. Gu Bao Bao was already cleaned up, fair-skinned and beautiful, looking stunningly good. A pity her mind was full of nasty little schemes. No, a single man and a single woman living together. What if he has improper thoughts about you? The consequences would be unimaginable. Gu Yunfeng's voice was loud, seemingly intended for me to hear. My heart instantly sank. The joy of this lucrative job had only lasted a few days. I really didn't want to lose it. Su Lingling also chimed in, "Bao Bao, your dad's right. How about this? Mom will find you a few female maids. What do you think?" When I saw Gu Bao Bao's impatient expression, my heart leaped with joy. Right. How could this girl bear to let her enemy disappear from her sight? By the time she's tormented me enough, I'll have earned enough money too. By then, even if she begged me to stay, I would still leave. But Gu Bao Bao's words instantly made my face darken. "Mom, Dad, don't worry. He's not a normal man. He's gay," Gu Bao Bao said with a perfectly serious expression. "What?" The old couple looked astonished, rendered speechless. I was furious. I really wanted to just walk out. Alipay transfer received. 50,000 yuan. I immediately calmed down. Fine, gate is. Once I save enough money, I'll find a woman and assert my masculinity. Her parents left. Before leaving, they were pleasant and amiable towards me, but their pitying gazes made my blood pressure soar. In the end, I didn't settle scores with Gu Bao Bao. Who could argue with her money? For a while, Gu Bao Bao's return times became irregular. She was extremely busy, often coming back looking worried, and wasn't in the mood to bother me. That suited me just fine. I guessed her company must have run into trouble. But for a nobody like me, there was no point worrying unnecessarily. Even if I wanted to help, I didn't have the ability. Just focus on saving my own money. If she really was in trouble, I could return some of the money to her when I leave. One day, the villa was exceptionally bustling. I was busy running around, completely worn out. That's right. Today was the big day of Gu Bao Bao's matchmaking meeting. Why not hold it at a hotel? I complained inwardly. On Gu Bao Bao's side, besides her parents, there were many elders. I recognized the man. It was the one I'd seen picking Gu Bao Bao up on the little electric scooter that day. His name should be Feng Cheng. The Feng family was somewhat well-known locally. It was said a Feng family member held a high position, which was why they'd had smooth sailing and rapid development over the years. I didn't like this kind of scene, but as the butler, I had to serve tea and water, attending to them nearby. When Feng Cheng saw me, he even smiled and nodded, looking quite friendly. Sigh. My reputation as gay had probably already spread. Thinking this, I couldn't help but throw him a flirtatious glance, which scared him badly. He quickly forced an awkward laugh and beat a hasty retreat. The conversation between the two families was very harmonious. Everyone praised Gu Bao Bao and Feng Cheng, calling them a golden couple, a match made in heaven. I watched everything with a cheerful expression. Suddenly, I felt a gaze fall upon me. Turning my head, I saw Gu Bao Bao, who had been chatting happily with Feng Cheng. "What are you looking at? I haven't messed up my job," I cursed inwardly. After the talk concluded, the group discussed the general arrangements and then began their polite farewells. The Gu family escorted the Feng family to the main road, still exchanging pleasantries. Watching them, I felt genuinely drained. A few days prior, there had been several heavy rainstorms. The Lansong River water was yellow and turbulent, yet it presented a uniquely magnificent and turbulent spectacle. The two families looked at the river, sighing with emotion for quite a while. Suddenly, a scream rang out. Gu Bao Bao had lost her footing and tumbled into the swirling river water at the bend below. The churning river instantly swallowed Gu Bao Bao. Chaos erupted. Everyone present panicked completely. Bao Bao! Su Lingling's voice was shrill and terrified. Who can swim? Quickly save Bao Bao. Gu Yanfeng was also jumping up and down anxiously. Right, Feng Cheng, you won first place in the city swimming competition. Quick, jump in and save Bao Bao. Save your fiancé. Su Lingling remembered something and ran to Feng Cheng's side, pleading. Feng Cheng looked at the raging river below, hesitated, and said, in a swimming pool, I'd be fine, but this. He only got halfway through his sentence. Everyone heard a splash. Only then did they realize that Gu Bao Bao's butler had already dived headfirst into the water. I really didn't expect Gu Bao Bao to be such an idiot. How could she fall in like that? Damn it, I'd better not lose my life over this. I knew perfectly well that Gu Bao Bao was a complete non-swimmer. Luckily, this was a relatively safe riverbend. I had to find Gu Bao Bao quickly, otherwise if she got swept into the main channel, it would be big trouble. I groped in the murky river water. Above, the Gu family paced frantically. Gu Yanfeng and Su Lingling were nearly beside themselves. 1 meter to my left, a flash of red caught the corner of my eye. It was the color of Gu Bao Bao's clothes today. I quickly dove into the water and swam towards her. In the water, I grabbed her legs and gave a strong push towards the shore. After doing this 3 times, I finally got Gu Bao Bao to the bank. Exhausted, I also climbed ashore, then dragged the unconscious Gu Bao Bao fully onto the bank. Without a second thought, I started chest compressions and artificial respiration. After some effort, Gu Bao Bao finally coughed up a large mouthful of water and opened her eyes. Seeing it was me, surprise flashed in her eyes, followed by an expression that instantly made my scalp tingle. Just then, both families rushed down from a side path. Bao Bao, are you all right, Bao Bao? Feng Cheng shouted the loudest. Su Lingling immediately hugged Gu Bao Bao, crying uncontrollably, finally looking at me with immense gratitude in her eyes. Gu Yanfeng, confirming his daughter was okay, came over and gripped my hand tightly, then tighter still, making me uncomfortable. After thanking me, he walked over to Feng Cheng's father and said, the matter of marriage between our two families is hereby canceled. No, I love Gu Bao Bao the most. I want to marry her. Didn't we just agree? Feng Cheng shouted, his face dark. He was met with disdainful looks from the Gu family. Even some of the Feng family members turned away, feeling embarrassed. You yourself are an expert swimmer. Your fiancée fell into the water. You didn't go save her, and now you grandly proclaim you love her? Tell it to the ghosts. Although the Gu family's business was in trouble, without the Feng family's help, they would surely suffer greatly. But their daughter's safety was clearly more important in Gu Yanfeng and Su Lingling's eyes. Feng Cheng, still babbling incessantly, was dragged away by his family members. Gu Bao Bao and I were both sent to the hospital. I figured I'd just catch a cold, but Su Lingling insisted I stay in the hospital bed, leaving me unsure whether to laugh or cry. I preferred Gu Yanfeng's style. Without a word, he transferred 3 million into my account. I was so excited I woke up laughing in my sleep. I checked my bank balance. TSK. Adding 2 months' salary and the money for washing Feng Bao Bao's feet, I had nearly 6 million. That's right. Yours truly bolted from the hospital. I boarded the train back to my hometown. A day later, I was sitting on a deck chair in our family courtyard, leisurely sunbathing and cracking melon seeds. Mom and Dad, holding a bank card, were grinning from ear to ear. On that card, no more, no less, 500,000. It was for my parents' retirement. They had worked half their lives in the city just to support my education. After I graduated from university, they returned to the countryside. This 500,000, they deserved it. The old couple immediately started treating me like a king. It was incredibly comfortable. I accepted it with a clear conscience. Damn it, this money was earned by Lousy through enduring humiliation and risking half my life. So I began a life of eating every day, sleeping after getting full. After some time, my parents couldn't stand it anymore and started nagging and complaining. Apparently, the previous 500,000 had been completely forgotten. Helpless, I took out my bank card again and showed them the balance. This time, it scared the old couple quite a bit. My dad declared it was enough for 2 lifetimes. From then on, family relations became exceptionally harmonious. What I didn't expect was that Mom started arranging blind dates for me. She asked what I thought, and after a moment's hesitation, I nodded in agreement. Because, well, some people, you really shouldn't even think about them. People are divided into ranks. Because the news that I'd given my family 500,000 had been spread throughout the village by my loudmouthed mother, my prospects on the blind date market were exceptionally good. In the courtyard, I sat facing a pretty girl. We chatted, looking for common ground. Just as we were about to exchange contact information, Lin Tianga, a high-pitched scream genuinely startled me. I turned my head, disbelief showing in my eyes. A woman, carrying bags big and small, was hurrying over. Her makeup today was exquisite yet understated, her slender eyebrows like 2 delicate willow leaves. Beneath them were large, deep-set eyes, glinting with anger and killing intent. Who else could it be but Gu Baobao? All the villagers stared blankly. It couldn't be helped. Gu Baobao's looks were just too stunning, and having been pampered since childhood, her aura was even more distinctive. "What are you doing?" Still stunned, I dazedly met Gu Baobao's imperious question. I'm on a blind date. What's wrong?" I pointed towards a girl opposite me, speaking instinctively. By this time, my parents had rushed over, their eyes darting back and forth between Gu Baobao and me. Gu Baobao shot me a fierce glare, then turned to my parents with a beaming smile, saying gently, "Uncle, any hello? These are gifts for you." With that, she handed the bags over. Then I heard words that struck like a bombshell. A bombshell, truly a bombshell. "My name is Gu Baobao, and I am Tiangao's girlfriend." As soon as she spoke, awkwardness filled the air among everyone present. The girl's family stared at me with hostile eyes. Dad was the first to react. He ran behind me and smacked me on the back of the head, then hurried over to apologize to the girl's family one by one. The girl I was on the blind date with left reluctantly, but she lowered her head upon seeing Gu Baobao. I waved goodbye to her, but Gu Baobao swatted my hand down. Instantly, fury surged through me. "Gu Baobao, have you gone crazy, bringing your madness to my home? What are you trying to pull?" A triumphant look appeared on Gu Baobao's face. Ignoring me, she turned to my parents and said pitifully, "Uncle," Auntie Tiangao yelled at me again. "You wretched child, are you looking for a beating?" My parents, simple country folk, how could they resist such a beauty's pitiful act? They came over and gave me a good thrashing. Mom even pulled my ear, lecturing me out of sheer frustration. "This daughter-in-law is like a fairy. How could you bear to scold her? Let me tell you, I've decided on this daughter-in-law. If you dare bully her, watch out, or I'll break your legs." Beside them, Dad's eyes glinted fiercely, looking ready to strike at the slightest disagreement. Helpless, all I could do was shut my damn mouth. After dinner, I walked with Gu Baobao on the dirt road in the countryside. The chirping of insects rose and fell in the grass, and the scent of fresh grass filled the air. I couldn't help but take a few deep breaths. The creek murmured a pleasant sound. "What?" After a long while, I looked up at Gu Baobao, voicing the question in my heart. The breeze stirred the tips of Gu Baobao's black hair. Her fair, stunning face looked so beautiful and captivating at this moment. She turned her head, her eyes like stars. "Lin Tiangao, you like me. Don't think I don't know." "What nonsense. Don't deny it. I know you better than you know yourself." I fell silent, looking up at the sky. Darkness had already enveloped the land, dotted with stars telling tales of millennia of brilliance. Suddenly, I felt a softness against my right hand. I was a little scared and wanted to pull it back, but it was held fast. "My feelings are the same as yours," Gu Baobao murmured. I looked at her, somewhat incredulously. "We're not the same kind of people." After a long pause, I finally sighed. She met my gaze unflinchingly and said with a smile, "Originally, no. But after that time you played the hero saving the damsel, we could be." "I told my parents you weren't gay." They immediately understood my intentions. Right? Gu Baobao fired me, made me go work as a housekeeper at her place. Was it really my work skill she was after? Gu Baobao took a step closer to me. Her pleasant fragrance wafted straight to my nose, and my traitorous heart started pounding wildly. Gu Baobao breathed out softly, her breath fragrant. They asked me what exactly our relationship is now. I answered them with 8 characters. Which 8 characters? I asked dazedly. Mutual secret crush, neither confessed. Epilogue. Gu Baobao and I got married. She handled external affairs, I handled internal ones. After marriage, we bickered nonstop, yet loved each other fiercely. Later, I asked Gu Baobao why she hadn't come looking for me sooner. Gu Baobao said that after discovering I'd left without a word, she wanted to come find me immediately, but her parents stopped her. Because the company still had many matters to handle. As for me, I could run, but I couldn't hide. The Gu family's crisis was also quickly resolved. Because the high-ranking individual in the Feng family was investigated and eventually imprisoned, the Feng family also suffered severe repercussions. The Gu family unexpectedly gained significant resources and quickly recovered. Later, I secretly read her diary. Only then did I find out that the time Gu Baobao fell into the water, she did it on purpose. I found her and scolded her angrily, suddenly terrified in hindsight. She said she believed I would be the first one to jump in after her. I said, "What if I had saved you but drowned myself?" She said, "Then I would have joined you." I felt a twinge instantly. What a ruthless woman.